Y'all, another one. I'm in the Prophet Enoch today, and so I'm gonna just go ahead and keep this thing going here, just so we can get a lot of this out today. I just want to make sure I cover a couple of these chapters of the Prophet Enoch. You guys can review some of my past videos to discover the history of Enoch, or just take the time out and study it out for yourself. If you study it out for yourself, you will find that the prophet Enoch was the very first scribe that the Most High instructed to write down what he saw from beginning to end. And somehow they took this out of the Bible and called it not canonized, but somehow it is still in every single Catholic Bible today. I don't understand how we never noticed that. If it was so not inspired, then why in God's green earth would it be still in their Bible? But that's neither here nor there. This is not even the topic of this particular discussion here. But it just angers me when I look at the scams, because these are things that have been just swept right over our eyes, and nobody even thinks about it. Now, if you're going to tell me that something's not going to be canonized because it's not inspired, and that's why you're going to take it out of my Bible that you give back to me as a watered-down holy Bible, then why wouldn't it be taken out of your book? That's the scam. But the reality is, when you understand the importance of the prophet Enoch, you will understand that obviously that before there was even a Moses, an Abraham, a Noah, there was an Enoch, and there was a law. And the law that they followed before anybody came along later was the laws that Enoch wrote down. So I'm going to go ahead and get through Enoch chapter 102. And then I'm going to close this out, but I'm going to run through it real quick here just so we get another study in for you guys this afternoon. Verse 1 says, "In those days when he shall cast the calamity of fire upon you, whither will you fly, and where will you be safe?" Just kind of confirming in what Revelation says when he says that people are going to be running and hiding into rocks and caves trying to get away from the judgment that is impending on this ridiculous place we call the earth, the world, America. There's no running from judgment. It's going to come. And Enoch is giving us a picture early on. "And when he sends forth his word against you, are you not spared and terrified? All the luminaries are agitated with great fear, and all the earth is spared while it trembles and suffers anxiety. All the angels fulfill the commands received by them and are desirous of being concealed from the presence of the great glory, while the children of the earth are alarmed and troubled. But you sinners are forever accursed." See, this is something that we must talk about. If this is existing in the beginning of time, as in the first book of law, why are we skating past this? This is why you cannot practice sinning. Now listen, I'm not sitting here saying I'm better, holier than you, and I can't sin. I can sin just like you. I could sin in 2 seconds. I never once said that. Do you want me to sit here and read off my laundry list of things I've sinned in the past year of my life? I couldn't even stand down and tell you, because the reality is we were born in sin and shaped in iniquity, and there's things that we do, even if we want to recognize it or not, it's sin, and that sin will cost you your life. What am I talking about? You better understand that things that are sexual sins, such as fornication, adultery, even masturbation, any of these things that you're doing, you have to understand that those things are affecting your body. See, it's the sin on the outside of your body that affects your body. So when you find later down in life, I'm dealing with a major ailment in my body, I'm suffering with, I walk around walking like an old man today, and I know I can recognize exactly where that comes from. I've had sexual sin in my life. I've fornicated before. I've committed adultery. So the reality is I'm going to practice what I preach, and I'm going to tell you guys what I say, I always want to make sure that I can line it up. So I'm not going to say anything that I didn't deal with, because I can help people get out of these situations. I know how to deal with properly grieving, and how to deal with grief, and how to minister to people in these situations. So the reality is, I'm not sitting up here telling you that I'm better than you, I can't sin, but we practice not trying to sin. It's just like this. If there's a light way up there in the sky, he rewards you for trying to reach the light. Not that you're going to hit it every time, but those are the ones that are going to be recognized. But the ones that just don't even try to hit it, those are the ones that will be judged. It's the goat and sheep. So we can't just run past the fact that Enoch said, sinners are forever accursed. To you, there shall be no peace. You won't have no peace anyhow in your finances, in your marriage, in your life, in your kids, in your in anything that you do. There will not be any peace until you realize that the sin has to be cut off as much as possible, and that you don't practice staying in that state, because it destroys you. And if you don't deal with the punishment in your life, there's several scriptures that say that that punishment passes to your kids and grandkids. So how fair is it to them because you refuse to repent or get some, get in front of the face of the Most High to get delivered from your sexual problem or your lying tongue or your whatever backbiting mouth, whatever you got going on in the secret hour where nobody knows but you and Yahusha. Well, that's the thing that we're talking about here, that we need to understand that these things will keep you out of paradise, no matter how you want to slice the pie. Unforgiveness will keep you out of paradise. We have to realize these things. And so at the end of the day, you could be harboring unforgiveness and you just don't want to accept this unforgiveness. Well, here's how you know if it's unforgiveness. Can you literally talk to that person and not have an ought against that person, not look at them funny, not have some ulterior motive in your mind? Most of the time you can't, because you can't forgive them. Well, if you are dealing with that, you got to get past that in order to be considered one of the holy ones. Or guess what? According to Enoch, you are a sinner. And he said there's not going to be any peace. Fear not, souls of the righteous, but wait with patient hope for the day of your death in righteousness. You don't want to die in sin. That's why I preach so much about sin. Not that I don't sin and can't sin. Not that I can't make a mistake. I'm never going to sit up here and tell you that scam. Any preacher that gets up there, oh, I'm just so holy. No, man, stop lying to me, man. Stop lying to me. Stop it. Because then that means that you are putting yourself on the same level as Yahusha, and he was the only one that has been successfully able to fight the enemy in his tricks. We can't do it. We fall. So I can't take some guy claiming that this is where he's at. No, I can't receive that. I can't receive that. I can't receive it. Now, he was found pure, which means he was found with no sin, which is why he was able to be slain. But even according to Enoch, this was pre-planned from the beginning. I don't care what anybody says. So he says, grieve not, because your souls descend in great trouble with groaning, lamentation, and sorrow to the reciprocal of the dead. In your lifetime, your bodies have not received a recompense in proportion to your goodness, but in the period of your existence have sinners existed in the period of execration and of punishment. And when you die, sinners say concerning you, as we die, the righteous die, what profit have they in their works? Now listen to what Enoch says here. He says, behold, like us, they expire in sorrow and in darkness. What advantage have they over us? Henceforward are we equal? What will be within their grasp, and what before their eyes forever? Now here we go. He says, for behold, they are dead, and never will they again perceive the light. Now that's what he's saying the sinners are saying about the righteous dying. So now he's going to break down the difference between the sinner and the righteous dying in death. So you want to pay attention here. This is why we need to know this information. He says, I say unto you, sinners, you have been satisfied with meat and drink, with the plunder of men and rapine, with sin, with the acquisition of wealth, and with the sight of good days. Have you not marked the righteous, how their end is in peace? For no oppression is found in them even to the day of their death. They perish and are as if they were not, while their souls descend into trouble to the reciprocal, to the dead. Once again, the prophet Enoch is important. It is very, very key to understanding the last days, understanding Revelation. I don't care how mad you might be about it. They took it out, but they kept it in. That's where the scam started. And that's where we have to be smart enough to discern what's right and what's wrong. And I'm sorry, I can't put down the prophet Enoch. I don't care what you tell me. So those of you that did check this video out, thank you. Like, share, comment. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't gotten a chance. Visit us online at www.kns-ministries.org. Be blessed on purpose.